Flint. The quickest way to get to the Drago Plateau is through the cave behind this house. Klaus probably went through the cave too. There's nothing to worry about, Flint. But you're not going to get very far being as tense as you are. What you need to do is smile. Understand? Yeah, okay. But you still seem pretty tense if you ask me.
Flint and Alec make their way through a dark, twisting cave. Alec's been through it countless times and guides Flint along the way. In addition to giving directions, he makes all sorts of silly jokes to get Flint to cheer up.
Hey, you? Just kidding, it was me.
He seems to have gotten over his daughter's death rather quickly, and saving his grandson from the same fate doesn't look like it bothers him much. Why isn't he taking any of this seriously? Probably for the same reason Bronson calls it good news and bad news. It also draws a sharp contrast between Flint's cold demeanor. Would you be so crushed that you'd hurt people out of impulse, or would you just laugh it off? Hopefully, you're somewhere in the middle.
I'm pretty sure there's a vine to the north. We need to vind it and climb up it. Flint, you're allowed to laugh at that pun just now. You not notice it? I said we have to vind the vine, instead of find. Was that not funny?
They climb up the vine and enter a second, brighter cave. Hidden away is a pair of pig soldiers, working with more strange technology. Flint approaches them, and they jump off a cliff to escape. They left behind an instant revitalizing device, which can fully heal you in seconds. Normally, you'd have to sit around in a natural hot spring for a while to get healed. These soldiers may not be the brightest, but their technology compensates for them. Where did they get all this? Flint and Alec arrive at Drago Plateau. A cold, synthetic ambience breezes through the air. They catch a sight of a baby Drago playing with a small, blue object. When it notices them, it hops away to safety. Upon closer inspection, he was playing with one of Klaus's shoes. He must be close. The mountain is ravaged by huge claw marks. After battling against some self-destructing trees, they come across the same kind of platform that the reconstructed caribou was hooked up to. This one looks like it was damaged in some kind of struggle. At the end of the plateau, the other shoe was found.
Klaus, we're here to rescue you. Where are you? What is that? That's not a Drago anymore. I have a bad feeling about this.
The beast attacks. Just like the reconstructed caribou, it's a twisted chimera between nature and technology. Half of it has been replaced with metal to become the roughest, toughest, baddest death machine there is. Its scars imply that there were even more plans for modification before it broke loose and rampaged through the mountains. What used to be a gentle giant has transformed into a senseless monster. Indeed, it was no ordinary Drago that killed Hinawa. Flint can barely put a dent in the Mecha Drago. That is, until he thrust its own fang into it, piercing its hide and making it vulnerable to normal attacks. A brutal slog ensues. The Mecha Drago stomps, bites, and even breathes fire at Flint, who responds with an onslaught of beating. The music for this battle is no less ferocious. It opens with the timpani rumbling with Cretaceous might, alongside loud roars of brass. The next few measures expand on the Drago's organic nature, with the flute playing a tragic melody. It was born a peaceful creature, but man abused its strength to turn it into a killing machine. A clarinet plays a counter melody, and trumpets repeat it with heroic vigor. The song reaches its climax, expressed by epic orchestra hits and a rapid arpeggio. And as the chaos ensues, a grim, familiar melody plays behind it all. What is the cause behind this Drago's cruel fate? As the duel drags on, both sides grow weary. Flint bitterly strikes the Drago, who unleashes one last powerful attack before it collapses. Everyone is exhausted. Flint struggles to get up, but the Mecha Drago self-rights. It shudders to deliver the final blow, but then it crashes to the other side. It lets out a deep whimper of defeat. Flint draws his weapon, ready to finish the job, but then the baby Drago comes out of hiding to lick its mother's wounds. Numb to sympathy, Flint gets in position to pounce, but Alec tries to get him to his senses. In blind wrath, he advances. The little Drago tackles him to the ground before any more harm can be done, but it's already too late. The mother sheds a single tear and draws her last breath. The camera pans over slightly to reveal Klaus lying on the ground, unconscious. Blinded by the same violent impulse that possessed his son, Flint lost sight of who he was looking for. It is possible that until now, the people of Tazmily had never known sadness. On sunny days and on cloudy days, they had greeted each other with smiles. They lived in harmony with the creatures of the forest. The strong would help the weak, and those who had would share with those who had not. However, it now appears that the villagers have learned all too much about sadness. Suddenly, everything is changing for the worse. When did this change begin? Where did it begin? What set it in motion, and why? Almost as if toys, the peaceful creatures are being transformed into strange, ferocious creatures that attack people. Some people, like Flint, have even had their families torn apart. Just what is this suspicious group that wears pig masks? What are these eerie objects that soar through the once beautiful skies? And where could the missing Klaus be? The mysteries continue to pile up. And so the tale first begins, as a tragedy. This concludes the first chapter of Mother 3. What began as a fun mountain retreat ended as a fruitless, violent rescue mission at the same place. A mysterious group has begun an operation to replace the natural order with bolts and plates. As a side effect of scientific indifference, the world began to burn. Some people's lives were permanently changed, while others were ended altogether. Flint's family has been torn apart in the span of 24 hours, and only he and Lucas survive. Throughout the chapter, our hero, Flint, has proven to be a flawed protagonist. He ruthlessly attacked anyone who got in his way, whether they deserved it or not, out of a struggle to process his grief. Though Flint himself might have been broken, nearly the entire world around him tried to cheer him up. Mother 3 offers a painfully bleak plot, but it tells the story in such a way that you can still appreciate the humor of life. There are jokes and quirky characters around every corner. They remind us that it's only a game, and that light can be found in even the darkest places of our own lives as well. We've seen how Flint responds to the crisis, but what about the other townsfolk? The game takes us back to the last time we've seen Duster.
Flint, I'm not really sure what to say. What happened to Hinawa was a terrible tragedy. I can't say I know how you're feeling. Hinawa's burial ended without incident. Lucas has been crying at her grave ever since. His poor little heart seems like it's about to break in two. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know anytime. Duster. Thanks.
The camera focuses on Duster. We move on to Chapter 2, Thief Adventure. This was the first of 8 chapters in Mother 3. Yet to experience are more peaks and valleys, humor and drama, thrills and tranquilities. This is only the beginning, and I hope you'll stay with me for the rest of the journey, however long it takes.